Hi, Jen. It is very, very nice to meet you. And I have very much enjoyed working on this project. So I'm very excited to share with you a very solid plan of action that I would recommend for you to take forward into the launch of the new Travel Mum website. So I'm just going to get stuck right in because there's quite a lot to cover. Okay, so what are we doing here? Why did you kind of get in touch? So when we kind of look at a marketing project like this, it's very, very important for us to put some objectives kind of right at the start of it, right? So what are we actually trying to achieve? So for you guys, and what I got from your onboarding questions is definitely a matter of fact of big focus on sales, big focus on new memberships, of course, but also it's a big brand building piece, right? So you've been doing this for now over a year, and I think you've done such a fantastic job. The amount of value you've given to your audience is absolutely amazing, and it's given you a very, very good foundation for us to actually kind of launch, and you've given me a lot to play with, basically. I also included this lovely screenshot from your website because your story is very powerful, and that's something that I will also be kind of putting some light on as we go through this. So in terms of objectives, we have objective number one being sales. So I've just put 30%, but I would definitely urge for you to really look at the numbers and to really get very specific with exactly what you're trying to do, okay? So I will share this presentation with you, and this is definitely a solid starting point, but I would definitely just kind of look and see what's realistic, especially with what your current sign up and data lists look like, and then you can actually put some specifics in there, okay? And then objective number two would be the members. So how many members do you want within the first year would be a very good solid starting point as an objective, okay? So absolutely kind of good area to focus in on, so sales and members. So that is what I'm recommending for you, okay? And that's what I've also kept in mind with everything I'll be covering today. Okay, so what am I going to be taking you through? So I've done a very thorough SWOT analysis of your business. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. What does that look like? We actually leverage the opportunities and strengths for you, and that's reflected across this strategy. I also did a little bit of a dig through a target audience and customer personas being defined. And what that just really means is I've taken what you shared with me on board and just started to really distill it into some more kind of distill it into more information. Basically, it's just more juicy kind of information around the kind of people that we want to be speaking to, and you will be able to build on that with your data too. So that's brilliant. Then we have customer pain points. So I've listed some down, and it's also good for us to know and to always keep in mind when you are creating content, right? And that's something that you asked kind of on guidance with too. I'm going to be sharing some website improvements with you, and then the kind of the bulky part, which is building the lead generation system inside the business. So how are we actually going to be acquiring the leads? How are we going to be nurturing the leads? How are we going to be converting the leads? Okay. And then finally, social media, which you have on lock, but I would like to just add some paid ads into that. And I've also just kind of from what you asked, added in some content pillars, which I will share with you, which just means content themes, which bring all of this together very, very beautifully. So everything that I just mentioned, I will be keeping in mind the lead acquisition. So how are we getting new people in? How are we getting new members? Lead nurture, so keeping them around, keeping them engaged and happy for kind of the foreseeable future, because obviously you want to have reoccurring members. And then lead conversion, so actually getting them to become members, right? So that's something that I would also want you to keep in mind with everything you do going forward. So just being a little bit more strategic with kind of the plan of action now, because you are entering a whole new stage of the business with this new launch, okay? In terms of recommendations and just kind of a top snapshot, I would say for your budget, you absolutely need a marketing assistant, manager, or an intern, okay? So obviously, depending on which you would go for, that would just look very differently in terms of rates. Intern you can get for super cheap from a university. Maybe you just want to start there, or maybe you want to work with somebody that actually has experience and know what they're doing with a marketing assistant or marketing manager or a marketing agency like ourselves. Okay, if that's something you're interested in, just let me know. I would definitely say you absolutely must be using different AI tools because there's just so much out there that can really help you and help to save on some of your workload. I've included a list of 100 really great AI tools for you to play around with, and also a link to my small business AI workshop. So that might be useful to you. it will be useful to you, to be honest. And it just digs into exactly how you could be using ChatGPT at its most effective way. Okay. Then finally, we have a few more points around repurposing content and using them across all your channels, which is something that you are doing already, but I definitely want to kind of keep that in your mind, because essentially when you are creating a piece of content, especially something that's very good and very, very, very value adding, you want to make sure you're making the absolute most of that. Okay. So what I mean by that is, if we look back at your social media, and if we look back, let's say on your Instagram, and we see some of the top performing content, you can absolutely repurpose that and make that into a blog, which would take absolutely no time. You literally just get the transcript and you can work with somebody that can do it, for £5 on Fiverr, or you can just do it using the AI tools that I mentioned. And that's really what we mean by making every piece of content stretch. Okay. So with this and with everything I will share with you, it might seem a little bit overwhelming if you're not kind of from the kind of the marketing world, but I really want to try and make it as easy and simple for you to actually action. Okay. So it's just something for you to keep in mind. So if you make a piece of content, it's done well, or it's going to land really well with your audience, just try and think of ways to really just make that go a long way. Okay. So highlighting testimonials and previous work. So you've been doing this for over a year, and I saw from the reviews that you have, it's just such powerful stuff, what you've actually been able to achieve and how people speak of you. So this is brilliant. And I definitely just want to highlight more across everything that we do. Okay. So again, something for you to keep in mind. And also on the website and the new website for the launch, I definitely want to sprinkle way more of your personal brand into the business. Okay. So you've done obviously an absolutely fantastic job being the face of the business on your social media, but let's just bring that into the website launch. Okay, so let's get into the nitty gritty. In terms of SWOT, kind of where are you guys at? What's going on there? So your strengths are the unique product offering. You're the first in the market, or one of the first. You have an engaged social media following, which is absolutely brilliant. Your expertise, and you have a very high trust factor, which is great. We definitely want to build on that. You obviously have reputable brands and partnerships already on board, so that's great. And then you also have the free and the membership plan. I would also say that your brand just generally is very strong. I think that what you've been able to achieve so quickly is pretty remarkable. So there's definitely a long way to go, and there's a lot more that we can do. But in terms of where you are, I think that's a huge strength to you. Okay, opportunities. So there's a growing demand for DIY travel. So people want the customizable options. They want the affordable options. Expanding the affiliate partnership. So that could be a really, really great one for you. Media exposure and PR. So you have a great network. So you have your agent, you have potential PR opportunities. So absolutely, we want to kind of leverage that and take that as far as possible. And then finally, geographical expansion. So looking at, tourists and families across other regions like the US could also be something that you would look to do in the future, because that's what your competitors are doing. So in terms of weaknesses, you have limited budget, inconsistent performance on TikTok. And I think it all just boils down to your small team, right? I mean, everybody's overstretched, and I can see that you are doing a million things. So it's understandable. And then we have threats, so competition, changing travel plans and trends, and platform functionality issues. Okay, so we just want to make sure that at all points the customer journey is as flawless as can be. Okay, so we just want to stay away and keep in mind those weaknesses and threats. Okay, so what do the customer personas look like? So I've created two for you, and essentially all it is a bigger snapshot into what you already know from your target audience and who you speak to. So you mentioned two different types of people. So you have the families aspect, which you also said most of them are females. So I built one called Marketing Manager Mum Sarah. Okay, so she's married, she has 2 children, she is family orientated, she loves to go family oriented holidays, and she looks for really budget-friendly options, right? She is not an expert in any way, shape, or form, and she also doesn't have the time to actually plan trips and to do the research. She is looking for something that's easy and that just gets the job done. She is active on social media, particularly on Instagram. She is very comfortable with apps and absolutely has done travel and trip before. And she's looking for just a stress-free way to do this. So why is this important? Why do we kind of dive deeper into the customer persona? Well, it's because you will see that the second one I've put together is very different to the first. So the way that, and the language that we would use for the first customer persona, Sarah, would be different to how we speak to student Sam, who is 18 years old, is interested in solo trips, and also maybe planning a gap year, planning their first ever trip. They have a tight budget, uncertainty about solo travel, so they've never done that. They are looking for last minute adventures. They're looking for, again, affordable flights, good accommodation. They're looking for hostels. Very, very different type of content would resonate with Sam than it would to Sarah. Again, very comfortable with apps, and yeah, just looking for an easy one-stop shop that does it all for them and just really helps guide them. So in terms of kind of what we do with these, we would really just ensure that they are sprinkled in all of our communication. Also, these are just starting points. So this is just based on what you shared with me. However, you will have actual insights and actual data that can get much more granular to this. So you would really be able to start build very solid customer personas using your data. Okay. So I definitely would say that these don't stay the same forever at all. These are just a good solid starting point, but then we want to definitely update them and just keep them as relevant to what the members look like. So who are we actually getting the sales from? Because that's the bottom line. That's one of our objectives. So that should be reflected in this. Okay. It is also really important for us to always keep in mind what the pain points of the customer are. And that should, again, be reflected in everything that we do from a marketing standpoint. Okay. So I've got some down here. I think it's a quite solid list, but I'm sure you'll be able to feed into this too. So we have time-consuming research, limited budget, unpredictable expenses when booking flights and hotels separately, uncertainty in where to go exactly, and lack of trustworthy information. So obviously right now it's just overkill with so much out there that you can actually find on YouTube and on social media and online. Filtering through poorly rated hotels. So they obviously don't want to do the kind of the big due diligence task of actually booking something and then kind of showing up to an awful hotel and having an awful experience. And also complexity of the booking process in general for new travelers. And then finally, safety and security concerns. Okay, so especially for families, this is more relevant than ever. So really important for you to keep this in mind when you're creating content. And also you'll be able to see which one of these lands the kind of the most. So you might want to even prioritize these and just mention them a little bit more. This really just helps to, again, just really get very intentional with the type of content that you're putting out there, because you're always keeping the end user in mind. Okay, so let's get into the fun stuff, which is the marketing and the brand. So like I said, I think that your marketing and brand is really, really great, but there's also some room for improvement. Okay, so I have come up with a couple new recommendations for you that you may want to kind of consider. So in terms of your tagline, I actually had a good look at the one on your website. It's just doesn't seem very strong. Okay, that's my kind of that's my recommendation for you, is just to upgrade it a little bit. So I chose something that's a little bit, it's simple, it's straight to the point, but it really kind of it really amplifies what exactly you stand for, which is unlocking affordable travel with Travel Mum. I didn't want to get too specific into families or into solo travelers, because it's for everybody, and you're trying to target both the solo travelers and the younger demographic of students, as well as the families. I would also say that quite clearly, and something that I mentioned in the previous slides, the 18-year-old traveler is more active on TikTok. So that's the type of content that we would want to post there. And the family-orientated content is something that would resonate more with the Instagram market. Okay, that's based on the data that you shared with me. So you may just want to keep that in mind. Okay, so you might just want to go heavier. And I would just say, everything I say, keep in mind that nobody has the golden ticket to what will work for you. We have to put the right tests in place. We have to see what works, and then we double down when we actually start to see results. Okay, so these are all fresh ideas. but I would definitely urge for you to just test a couple different variables. Once you start to see the numbers, that's when you know for sure something is working, right? In terms of brand positioning, I would say that yours should be empowering wanderers. Travel Mum empowers wanderers to embark on unforgettable adventures within their budget. With our seamless platform and insider knowledge, we make affordable travel accessible to all. Okay, this is like your mission statement. It's your brand positioning. This is what your ethos of the business. Again, maybe you want to play around with this, but I think it's a really solid starting point for you and really starts to move you in the direction of actually building the brand out a little bit more. Okay, and this is I just really think that you're kind of everything that you've posted out there reflects that too. In terms of your tone of voice, I would say it's welcoming, vibrant, and inclusive. So that's something, again, that should be reflected in everything that we do. And then in terms of visual identity, I would say that absolutely we want to use the Travel Mum logo consistency and also just use more of your imagery of you and your family, okay? And I mean that for the website mostly, because obviously you're everywhere on social media. And then finally, it's really important for us to have some kind of brand guidelines. So I would say at this point, it could be worthwhile for you just to put some time into that and just build that out now. All that brand guidelines means is for you to select the type of typography and the type of colors that you will use that are then consistent across the board. So for you already have that. You have your logo, you have the gold tone in your logo, so that would be one of your colors. You just might want to fine tune that. Typically, you need like 3 different colors. The fonts, for example, you will see that on your social media you use a variety of different fonts, and on your website it's a little bit different. So you might just want to choose one and stick to that, and just put that literally here in this slide. These are the 2 fonts we're going to use, one for heading, one for body. It's going to be the same absolutely everywhere. These are the colors we're going to use absolutely everywhere. That's it, job done. Okay. So in terms of website, just getting a little bit more granular now with the specifics for the launch. So as I mentioned, I would want to change that slogan, and that's what I evolved in the previous slide. So unlocking affordable travel with Travel Mum. So that's what I would want to have here. So we make budget travel easy. It's just making it a little bit more related to kind of to what you do. I would definitely say that we want to elevate the imagery. Okay, so right now it is one of your biggest strengths, as I mentioned earlier, is your own personal brand. So we definitely just want to add that in and sprinkle that across everything. So we will do that in a number of ways, but definitely the imagery would be one of them. In terms of your menu, I would recommend for you to have our picks, which would just be the free content that you have, which you could also member protect and member lock if you wanted. But I would definitely urge for you to have some value adding content that's just readily available for people to kind of get a flavor if they're just coming across you for the first time. Reviews, which is something that absolutely should be shouted from the rooftops, because you have 4.9 star reviews. I mean, like, so basically 5-star reviews. So that's just absolutely fantastic. So definitely want to scream and shout about that in your menu, across the website, on any important page that you have, including your about page, including on your homepage, and anything else that is basically leading people to the sales aspect. Okay. And then a login button. And then I would change the name of your Start Your Journey button in the menu to just say join for free. Okay, because they can join for free. And then also you can have the premium option there too. I would say that that's just a recommendation. You could test both. So Start Your Journey and join for free, especially when you are ramping up and you're maybe in the run up to launch. You might, and you maybe if you do like a soft launch, you might want to keep join for free and then move it into joiners. So just a consideration for you to make. Then the other element is that is really, really important. We want to make the website as easy to navigate as possible. I think you've actually done a really good, solid job on the homepage, and the way that you've displayed, obviously I can only see the homepage and the About Us page. I think you've done a really good job. Actually, everything's very easily laid out. So my main recommendation is definitely the imagery. But I would also say it's absolutely another brand building piece to start to include some of the social media content that you've posted on your website. Okay, so that's just done through a widget. So your website developer should be able to add that in quite easily. And I would just literally just keep that refreshed and keep that up there so people can see your latest content that you've put out there around the free information. Okay, so it's just kind of looping everything together. So like I said, we want to use the testimonials on all important pages. You can even do screenshots or just copy across some of the positive comments from people that are super engaged in your community. That actually also builds a brand and also differentiates you, because you have that personal element to it too, right? And you are just starting out. It is a personal business. It is a family business. So there's kind of extra layers to it, and it could be quite a nice touch. And it is very different from the faceless brands. Showcase previous trips. So, you know, if you've helped somebody with, basically it's just case studies. If you can do something like this would also be great. Make sure, I couldn't test the checkout process, but some of the competitors that you shared, literally with one click, you're already inside the Stripe payment page. So their journey is very, very short, and this works really well. So something for you to keep in mind. I would also add a section called As Seen On, in partnership with, trusted by, whatever, kind of depends which ones you can actually showcase, with Barclays Press, Skyscanner, kind of all of those elements definitely looped together. And then, like I said, the social media integration. So we want to make the website very easily shareable. So we want the website itself to have some social media links for TikTok and for all the platforms, basically. And then also the popular content that you've made actually to be on there too, as I mentioned. Okay, so what does the little sales engine look like of the business? So our first objective is sales, but also we want memberships, right? We want to have as many amazing people on our data list as humanly possible. So what I would say is we want to really look at the way that we're capturing data on the website. So I've included a screenshot here from a competitor, and they're just doing a really, really, really good job. As soon as you land on their homepage, they're asking you for your email. Okay. And actually that is pretty brilliant. So I've used a similar approach that I would recommend for us to test, or just to start somewhere. And it can be to plan smarter, travel better, let Travel Mum be your guide to wallet-friendly wanderlust, enter your email to start your journey, and then unleash your inner explorer with Travel Mum. Get exclusive access to insider tips and affordable travel secrets. Enter your email, join our vibrant community. Absolutely just lovely and very, very easy to follow. These can either be pop-ups, or these can be, you know, maybe just under the kind of the fold. Again, I would just say test it. The easier that we make it for people to leave us with something, the more they will do so. Okay, especially because your traffic is actually pretty solid. So we definitely don't want anybody to be just coming on the website, having a look around, and then letting them go without getting something from them. And if it's not a sale, then at least we want to capture the email address. Okay, because then maybe later down the line, when we start to run automated email campaigns, maybe they will convert at that point. Okay, in terms of content, we want to set 3 automated emails, which will be shared once somebody actually leaves the email with us. So we have email 1, which will be the welcome email with the best of, this is an example, what I would kind of recommend. So we have email 1, welcome email with best 2023 deals. So and also Travel Mum explained. So what is the business, kind of what is the background? Email 2, most visited article on current website repurposed. So reviews of Travel Mum also added in there. So again, I'm trying to do the brand building piece and also just take them through a journey. The most visited article on the current website would just be from the freebies that you shared. So you can just look at your data and see what people are really interested in and really just repurpose that. And then promotion of premium with reviews, again, just with reviews of your raving fans, would be an email 3. So that would be a very nice kind of simple email sequence to set up. Okay. When you asked me kind of what type of content we should post to get yourselves to the next level, the way that marketers and the way that I approach overwhelm from content creation is through using content pillars. Okay. So we have 4 that I've created here for you. And you might want to tweak these, or you might just want to give them a go. But essentially, content pillars are just content themes. And it just, again, just helps to really streamline exactly what you're sharing. And I think for you, it's very important to now take the business in a way of, this isn't just content value adding and just from the goodness of your heart. This is now kind of, you know, it's time for you to actually really move towards the objectives that we've set and that you will set as a business. So I have still lots of value adding stuff. So you're not changing anything too drastically, but I have budget hacks in which you would do budget travel itineraries as you do, DIY travel guides, money saving travel tips, price comparisons, which is also quite a nice one. So actually looking at what other holidays could cost, similar holidays could cost like, and what holidays with the help of you guys would look like. Travel inspiration. So really lots of beautiful campaigns around lots of beautiful content around dream destination, adventure stories from people that have actually worked with you and have used your services. And I mean, if you know some of these people and if they're very, very engaged, you can literally just ask them a few questions and share that as content, which will be brilliant because again, they're just doing the promotion piece for you, which is brilliant. With all of this, user-generated content is also very, 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 very lucrative. So if you can get people to start creating content on your behalf too, that's brilliant. The way you would do that is by incentivizing them, sharing some special codes with them, giving them early access, or just cross-promoting their pages on yours. So there's lots of different ways to play that. Okay. Solo Travelers Corner, I thought was quite a nice one because now we're starting to bring in the second customer persona that we talked about. So celebrating experiences of solo travelers and also the younger travelers. So the kind of the 18-year-olds that they're doing their first trip for the first time. Fun and interactive polls and quizzes related to travel preferences and destination preferences, just kind of the unique content that you already do. And obviously you can base that on both customer personas, so the families and also the first-time travelers. And then we have insider insights. So this is something that you can really play on with the kind of the hacks and how to save actual money while you're traveling. So with food or with accommodation, on activity, kind of all of the nitty-gritty of it all. Then you could share insights around the exclusive deals. So everything that's coming up and everything that you're kind of working on with partners, or just spotlighting some of the amazing deals that are out there that you already have. And then behind the scenes with Travel Mum too. So what does it actually look like inner workings of your team? That's also, something that could be tested. And also, especially at this point, because you're starting to build your business and take it into another level, it's actually people really like to be a part of that. If you do have a really great audience, so asking for feedback and getting real-time feedback and actually inputting that into the business works really, really well for businesses like yours. And then we have promotional content. So this is actually the core of how we're going to be pushing kind of what you're doing, right? So we have budget-friendly destination spotlights. So this is the user-generated piece where we're actually highlighting the actual case studies. And then we have member testimonials. So lots and lots and lots of sharing of those reviews. And even, like I said, asking people to share videos of this would be really, really great. And then time-sensitive deals or promotions for premium members. So encouraging followers to actually become a member as quickly as possible will also work really well. So again, with this, all a very solid starting point, lots and lots of juicy ideas. Some of these you might say, no, that doesn't make sense for me, or no, I've tried that, I know better, or maybe I can build on this. But that's great because at least you start to get a little bit more intentional. As I said, you start to get a little bit more strategic with the type of content you're putting. The way that you would use this is you would say, I'm going to have 3 budget hacks. I'm going to have 4 travel inspiration, 2 insider insights a month, or maybe more, and then 2 promotional content also, right, sprinkled in. So you would really just put that into your social media scheduling plan, okay? And you would just kind of add an extra layer to it. I'm sure you already have something like this, but it might be just time to rejig it all, because this really just brings everything that you're doing, taking it into the next stage together. So in terms of the 4-week launch action plan, so we have a few key areas of focus when it comes to lead generation. And for you, I would definitely say we have to focus on the lead nurture and lead acquisition through email and also social media, because those are just easy win for you. Okay. And also we're not working with a ridiculously huge budget. So we have to be very, very strategic and very smart with how we're spending it. So when it comes to email marketing, you absolutely do have to do that big cleanup job. I know it's it's a little bit of a pain, but definitely a good segmented list will definitely get you best results. And then social media, of course, you have that already on lockdown. So as part of what I've put together for you, I actually wanted to create the launch campaign and what that would look like. So this is what my recommendation is for that. So we are now 1 month away, I believe, from the launch of the new website. Okay, so please tweak this based on kind of your specific timings. And I actually share with you a template for a timeline. So you might just want to put that into this. You might just want to put this into that, sorry. And it's just a very nice way to start to build some momentum and get everybody excited and actually like, yeah, share that you have something happening. So we have the countdown to launch. So we have the start the countdown, so you can start to tease it a little bit. So by sharing different posts and just kind of mentioning it across your socials, you definitely want to start to build the community and start to kind of reignite the fire under everybody. Okay, so actually start to get some really good stuff out there. You can absolutely share the behind the scenes, as I mentioned, with lots of content coming out of that, what it looks like, what the testimonials look like, your journey, where you've come from, you know, the people that have actually saved money, everything I talked about in the content pillars. Again, just sprinkling in the fact that this is all going somewhere. We're gearing up for a big launch, okay, while still using the content pillars that we've put out there. Then email marketing to support that. So you want to do that little cleanup job and then start to send a teaser email to existing subscribers. I've actually pre-written the first one, which I think is a very solid one. And we have send a teaser email to existing subscribers, hinting at the upcoming launch, also sharing the 14-day free trial offer, share a sneak peek to the subscribers, and yeah, just kind of giving them lots of juicy information around what's actually happening. And then we have, so that's week 1 to 3. So you want to be sprinkling that in absolutely everywhere. Then week 4, I would say, why not do a live launch event? Okay, I would do this on Instagram Live potentially, and I would just start to again tease that within the week 1 to 3. And I named that the Unlock Your Adventure, which could be kind of a nice way for you to actually start to run the campaign with that name and with that hashtag. With a special countdown timer. So build excitement for the new website, the new deals, limited time offers for premium members, just more kind of momentum, more kind of excitement. And then finally, invite subscribers to the live event. So highlight chance to win exciting prizes. So I would say it would be great for you to just to really kind of try and make this as lucrative and as juicy as possible. So, you know, if you can partner with somebody and get a discount on flights, so you can get some free flights or kind of anything you can do through your network, that would be brilliant. This is also, and I'll actually add a point to this, this is also when the PR aspect would come into it. Okay, so I would definitely start to leverage some of your connections for the launch. Okay, and also you could do this in the pre-stage too. And then finally you have the live launch event. So you want to actually launch the event, you want to showcase kind of where you've been, your story, you want to share the new website features and exactly what people get, and also do like a nice Q&A. You want to actually get people involved and excited and talking to you and maybe even asking for your advice in that. Okay. And also, like I said, the opportunity to win freebies also never goes down too badly. I have this email that I drafted that could be very, very nice for you to use as the first kind of initial step in the plan. As you know, this is just kind of a consultation with the kind of the initial plan, and really just with the help of a marketing assistant or with the help of kind of the AI tools, you should really get a very kind of solid point based on this. But with this first one, I've actually written this in a way that I want to get everybody excited, but also take them on the journey of where you've been to. Okay. So I've included a little bit about your story, which I think is just so strong and absolutely something that should be highlighted more and more, especially in these campaigns, in the re-engagement campaigns, and absolutely everything that you're doing for launch. Kind of the passion and purpose behind the business, then also the community aspect. So what you've been able to do, as I said, is amazing. So absolutely want to be highlighting that. And then actually promoting the event itself, that there's giveaways, come join us. And that's pretty much it, to be honest. I've done a little breakdown of the budget allocation and I've just shared that with you in a template. Okay, so this is something that I share with clients, so you get a good sense of what kind of it takes to do marketing, and you will be able to slot this in with your £30,000 pound budget. But also, I know you don't want to spend all of that, obviously, so it's just kind of starting slowly. And I've really taken that into consideration with everything I've proposed. I haven't gone too big, but I've also included some elements that you can really go big on. Okay, so I've done kind of a bit of both. So in terms of what it really is and what it will really look like, one of your biggest costs will definitely be actually bringing somebody on board. And I really recommend for you to do that, because you only get the opportunity and the chance to do it once, and to do it well will just be so beneficial to you. Okay, because you are an incredible content creator, but to actually do all the marketing alongside of that will be extremely difficult. Not impossible, but extremely difficult. Okay, so I would definitely say to bring a marketing manager or marketing assistant on board. Again, you can find somebody through Fiverr, you can work with us, you can find freelancers, you can find interns, so that really can help with your budgets. But I definitely would say working with somebody that then knows that what they're talking about would be great. We have some amazing marketing managers in-house that can help. I'm a marketing strategist, so I oversee the full strategy, which is something obviously I'm taking you through now with this mini plan of action. Our strategy projects take 2 weeks to put together. So of course, this is a very, very fast-paced, condensed version of that. So I do appreciate this is a lot to cover. And I'm covering a lot, but hopefully it's all kind of clicking in, and hopefully it's all making sense. Web development. I'm sure you have a beautiful and amazing web developer, but this is what the cost for that. Graphic design, if you need brand guide templates and kind of, to really elevate your brand and really kind of make everything totally cohesive, I would recommend to have brand guidelines put in place. Content creation, which is something you do yourself. Paid advertising, so if you wanted to start to run campaigns, you actually have very good ranking on your current website with SEO. So I think that's pretty brilliant. But if it's something you wanted to build on, typically that will cost around £400 a month, and you would need to put at least £600 a month in ad spend into that. We have an amazing paid ads expert, so if that's something you want to talk about, feel free to reach out. And then finally, partnerships. So this is another juicy big one that you can really throw money at or really dial in on. Okay, so again, this typically works based on who you have in your network and who are the kind of the easiest, lowest hanging fruit. Okay, so that's something that is really important to consider. So in terms of the actual recommendations, like I said, definitely a marketing manager. So a marketing manager, if you work with one of ours, would run absolutely everything that I covered today. So they'll be the ones that are creating the email campaigns, they're running the ads, they're basically boosting the ads that you work on. They're looking at the analytics, they're really taking a data-driven approach, and obviously running the campaigns, putting the campaigns together, doing all the website tweaks, literally everything you could think of from a marketing angle. And also the paid ads, I would definitely say for you to work with an expert. So testing the campaigns first, and then investing once you start to see the results. And then finally, the partnerships and the PR piece. Okay. So definitely leveraging what you have. I would basically, if we were working together on a longer basis, I would want to know absolutely every one that you have access to, and we would put a plan in place for every single one of those as a mini campaign. Okay, because those opportunities are brilliant. So if you have an amazing agent that can introduce you to people, then absolutely, that's brilliant. And that actually is bringing me closer to the end. So as I promised, I have some additional resources here for you. So we have the ChatGPT business workshop that you can watch here. I think it would be really, really great for you, because it really just expands on everything that can be done, including kind of, changing tone of voice and writing emailers and creating content using ChatGPT, including even scripts that you could use for your social media content creation. I've also included 100 lead generation email templates, including holiday campaigns, automatic emailers, promotions, and more, which you can access. And also the AI tools for business cheat sheet. So it's a breakdown of how much different tools are and what exactly they are, what they can be used for. I've also just included more information around our services. If you have any, and also our team, but if you have any questions, if anything is not clear, please do feel free to reach out. I have absolutely loved working on this. So I hope that you do have lots of value from it. And I really wish you all the best of luck. I think you're going to absolutely smash it with the small tweaks, especially to your website, and also with the lead engine that we're going to put in place with the sales aspect and capturing data, as well as the paid ads aspect to reaching new people through your social media channels and growing your audience on there. I think that, as a kind of overview, is a very, very, very solid starting point. Okay. So like I said, any questions, feel free to reach out. Otherwise, I will speak to you soon.